1971 to 1974. Strat-O-Matic Excel Carryover League. Brought to you by the Shrimp Trawler.
Game 311, Cubs at Cardinals.
Welcome back, baseball fans, to the 1971-74 Carryover League. We are back in the National League, and we're going to begin a long assortment of inter-division battles that'll take us all the way through the All-Star break. And we're going to start with a traditional rivalry here today. Cubs Cards in a, let's take a look at what's happened in this series. We'll just get right into this action. There's been a lot of action. This has been a good series. But game one, Cardinals, Chris Short, the number 3 starter, against Fergie Jenkins in Wrigley Field. And you're thinking, I think we know what's going to happen, right? Well, wrong. Cardinals are a first place team this year. Cubs, 4th place team this year. Top of the second inning, a single, a double by Simmons, a 2-run double by Bill Sadakis. It's 2-zip. Bottom of the 4th, and here come your Cubs. A walk to Williams and Santo, a single by Carmen Funzone. And then Jerry May, acquired in the offseason, base clear and triple. Gotta love that in Wrigley Field. Must have been fun to watch. A walk, single, and it's 5 runs off of Chris Short. It's a 5-2 lead for Fergie Jenkins, and you think that's going to be the winner, right? Well, it is not, because in the 6th inning, McBride singles, Torrey singles, Reggie Smith doubles, Ted Simmons 3-run bomb. Just that quickly. Get it all back +1. Cardinals lead 6-5 off of the stunned Fergie. Fergie also gives up a solo homer to Reggie Smith in the 8th inning. We pull him after 8 innings. 8 hits, 7 runs, no walks. 8 base runners for the Cardinals, 7 of them score. And after Short is pulled after 5 innings, the entire Cardinal bullpen finishes this game. Cubs strand 2 guys in 6th, 1 in the 7th, 3 in the 8th, loading the bases with 2 outs, and they get Chuck Taylor to get Ron Santo to fly out, and Rabalski comes in and gets a save the 9th. 7-5, Cardinals win. Cardinals, 7 runs, 8 hits. The Cubs, 5 runs, 14 hits and 5 walks. They put 19 men on base. Cardinals put 8 men on base. Cardinals hit 2 home runs. Cubs didn't hit any. That's how it works, folks. That's how baseball works. And that's why the Cubs lost that game. 7-5 with their ace, Fergie Jenkins. So what do the Cubs do? How are they going to just let this season fall to the wayside as the Cardinals extend their lead in this division? Well, the Cubs show some backbone. In a game 2, the Cubs had a little clubhouse meeting, and they decided to bench Don Kessinger, the shortstop, just because he's not a power hitter. You know, he's a slap hitter, singles hitter, good defensive shortstop. They decided to put him on the bench and just load the Cubs lineup with all the big bats they have and cross their fingers and hope the defense doesn't kill them. And see if that works. Game 2, Sonny Siebert for the Cardinals, Bert Hooton for the Cubs. Siebert acquired in the offseason from the Red Sox along with Reggie Smith in that big deal. In this game, this is a classic game. It is the Cardinal defense who looks bad early. An error by Sizemore, a double, a 3-run homer by Del Unser, another error by Simmons there, an RBI single by Hickman, and the Cubs have a 4-1 lead. Into the 9th we go. Hooton goes 8 1/3. Then he gives up a hit, a walk, a Ted Sizemore 2-run triple. It's a 4-3 game. Then with 2 outs, Lloyd Allen, the Cub closer, gives up a game-tying single to Mike Tyson. It's 4-4, and you go, here come the Cardinals again. They tie it in the 9th. But in the bottom half of the 9th inning, you have 2 straight outs, but then you get a Billy Williams double and a Jim Hickman RBI single. How many times did that happen, folks? Billy Williams, Jim Hickman there. And the Cubs do indeed walk this thing off 5-4 over the Cardinals and get a split at home. We go to St. Louis. Should be home cooking, right? Game 3 in St. Louis. It's Earl Stevenson, acquired in the offseason for the Cubs. They're lefty. Against Scipio Spinks. Nice little number, starter 7 for the Cardinals. In this one, top of the second inning, 3-run bomb by Ron Santo. 3-2 Cubs. This lineup seems to be working. Kessinger on the bench to start the game, and he comes in for Madlock at the end of games, and Santo moves over from short to play third base. 2-run homer by Reggie Smith. It's 3-2. Another home run by Don Mincher. It's 4-2. Stays this way into the 8th inning. RBI single by Simmons, 4-3. Lloyd Allen and Ray Newman close this game out, folks. Your Cubs, they get a road win in St. Louis, 4-3, and take a 2-1 series lead. And again, this will upend the National League, as the Cardinals, the first place team, are losing to the 4th place team. This whole National League is wide open here again, folks. So let's take a look at Game 4. Surely the Cardinals could even this thing up at home because they got Bob Gibson. If you're wondering, Bob Gibson pitched the final game of the previous series, which is why he had to wait till Game 4 of this series. He faces the number 4 starter of the Cubs, which is Rick Russell. So it takes him 4 games, but theoretically the Cardinals finally get the pitching advantage today. But what a ridiculous inning the 3rd inning was. Johnny Briggs singles after 2 strikeouts. Then Glenn Beckert, he of 2 home runs in 71, hits one of those 2, a 2-run homer. One of the 2 that he hit, making the game 2-0. The next batter's Billy Williams, and Bob Gibson hits him with a pitch. One Hall of Famer hitting another one with a pitch. Gibson and Billy Williams. There's some words were said, tempers cooled, but the next batter, Jim Hickman, rolls triple 1-3, single the rest off of the Gibson card. Must have hit that newly installed artificial turf in the Cardinal outfield funny. Rolls to the wall. It is a triple, and they get 3 runs off of Gibson. They come back in the bottom half off Russell do the Cards with a double, a single, and a single by Simmons. It's 3-2. In the 6th inning, though, once again, it's Bob Gibson has 3 up and 3 out innings, and then 2 of those, and he gets flustered here in the 6th. Same thing, same pattern. 2 more 3 up and 3 out innings, and he gets flustered. A single, 2 outs. 3-run homer, Del Unser, the Cubs center fielder. It is 6-2. Cardinals are now the team stranding base runners. They get a run in the 7th, they strand a runner. They get a run in the 8th, they strand 2 runners. Top of the 8th inning, though, Bob Gibson. A walk, a single, and yes, we pull Gibson. His line, 7 innings, 8 hits, 9 runs, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts for Bob Gibson. Just did not have it. Very strange that Fergie Jenkins, Bob Gibson get knocked around by their rivals. Final score in this one, the Cubs, 10-4 victors. 3 straight wins for the last place Cubs. Let's take a look at the standings now in the National League North, as it has gotten really interesting here. I put some more information here. These numbers here, interesting. The 2 is number in interleague play. This division's 2 games over 500. Overall, the division is a game under 500 because they've been losing to other National League teams. But look at the standings here. Cardinals still sitting at the top. The Reds a half back. Pirates a back. Cubs a couple back. It's almost like it's opening day again. Wide open National League, who, by the way, is 15 games under 500 against the American League. And basically, it's the National League Mountain and the National League West are the 15 under, as the East and the Central kind of balanced out against the American League there. So that's what the current standings are. But we got a Game 5 in St. Louis. They need a win. They need a win to stay in first place and to keep the series going. They are down 3-1 to the hated Cubs. Oh, and guess who's pitching, folks? Rested Fergie Jenkins, knocked out of Game 1, pitching on 4 days rest today. Plenty of rest for Fergie, 24-game winner in 1971. He will go against Sonny Siebert, that acquisition from the Red Sox, having to pitch on 3 days rest. For the Red Sox in 71, 16-game winner, 291 ERA, 235 innings. Fergie Jenkins, Sonny Siebert. This should be some great baseball from Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Let's get started. Leading off for the Cubs, Bill Madlock. They're going with that same lineup until they lose, I guess, with Kessinger on the bench. Bill Madlock, 43, right X. This is Reggie Smith, 3-8 right field. Makes the grab. Johnny Briggs, 6'10", center X. Center fielder is McBride at 2E4. Makes the catch. And with 2 outs, it's Glenn Beckert. 110, base hit. Billy Williams, 2-7, rolls to first. Bottom of 1, it is Lou Brock. 38, rolls to third. Big McBride, 55, is a strikeout. Joe Torre, 6'12", flies to left. Top of 2 in St. Louis. Jim Hickman, 1-6 is a K. Don Mincher, 58. Short X. This is Dwayne Anderson, the Cardinals starting shortstop, 4E34. He gives up a hit. They normally pull him for bad defense. Oddly enough, Santo, of course, his defense will be worth. And here is Ron Santo with a runner on. Let's take a look at Santo's card. So, Santo, of course, the Cub third baseman, but he can play third. Excuse me. Of course he can play third, but he can play second. He can play short. He can play left field. They've moved him into shortstop to start these games to get the extra stick in there, and it has worked. He's a 4E48 at short, but late games he moves over to third where he's a 2E26. Runner at first, 1 out. The pitch to Ron Santo. 3-11 is a K. 2 outs for Del Unser. 62 rolls back to the mound. Bottom of 2, it is Simba batting cleanup now. 57 K. Cardinals move some of their switch hitters around, flipping Simmons and Smith. They also flipped Berta and Dwayne Anderson down there. Reggie Smith, 57 is a K, and with 2 outs. Bill Sadakis, 1-8. That is a strikeout, and Fergie has 4 of those through 2 innings. Into the third, Randy Hundley, 6'12", center. Bill Madlock, 45, pops to first. John Briggs, 69, pops to third. Bottom half, it is Bob Berta, 2-6, base hit. Dwayne Anderson, 57, strikes out. Ted Sizemore, 2-4. That is a 5-4-3 double play, and the fans in St. Louis have not had a home win in quite some time. They're getting a little upset here with their team against the hated Cubs here, who are ruining the Cardinal season. And we talked about this. This era isn't really kind to the Cardinals, but they're playing well this year, but they're running out of gas, and they gotta go to the gas station. And they thought the Cubs were gonna fill them up with some wins, and it's not happened. Glenn Beckert, 310, base hit. Billy Williams, 49, double one off the Siebert card is a base hit, and the Cubs have it going again in the fourth. With runners on the corners, nobody out. They'll play back for Hickman, hoping for a double play. 3-6, Jim Hickman, single 1-2-12. He lines out on a 16. That is huge there. With 1 out, they're going to bring it up, hoping for a scoreless inning now. Don Mincher, 45 off Siebert. It's a liner to second, and with 2 outs, it's Ron Santo. 42 flies to center field, and that worked for the Cardinals. They keep it scoreless. It's up to this Cardinal offense that was carrying this team earlier to get something going. They have 1 hit through 3. Back up top to Lou Brock. 2-6 is a base hit for Lou Brock, the Double-A Steeler. Randy Hundley's got a -2 arm, but he is going to steal and try and get something started, and he's safe on a 10. Lou Brock steals a base. Now you got Big McBride. 39's a walk, and here comes these Cardinals looking like old times. Joe Torre, first and second, nobody out. 1-5, let's take a look right on cue. 1971, Joe Torre, the National League MVP with his 24 homer, 137 RBIs, 363 batting average. right there. It is gone. 3-run homer, and the Cardinals take a 3-0 lead off of Fergie Jenkins. The Cardinals have to hope that Bob Gibson and Fergie Jenkins go 0-3 in the first 5 games of this series. Ted Simmons. 2-4, rolls to first. Reggie Smith, 48, is a base hit off of Fergie. Looks perturbed out there. Bill Sadakis, 1-7 is a K, and with 2 outs. Berta, 2-7 is a K. 3-0, Cardinals with a lead. They haven't had a lead in a while, since opening day. This is the opening game of the series. Top of the 5th, it's Del Unser. 54 off of Siebert, homer, 1-12 double. And it's been a charmed day for Siebert. It's a double. He's gotten a lot of outs and missed opportunities. Randy Hundley, 67 is a fly to left. Bill Madlock, 34, rolls to the pitcher, and with 2 outs, it's John Briggs. 58, short X. This is Dwayne Anderson, though. He's a 40-34 shortstop, but he makes the play. That's a huge break, getting a defensive play with 2 outs out of a lousy fielding shortstop. And Sonny Siebert has skated away today with 5 hits in 5 innings and no runs scored against him. It's 3-0 Cardinals. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
Bottom of the 5th, it'll be Dwayne Anderson leading it off. 4-12, flies to right. Almost tempted to pull his defense now. Ted Sizemore, 68, flies to left. And with 2 outs, it's Lou Brock. 38, rolls to third. They'll leave everything alone going to the 6th for Sonny Siebert. Glenn Beckert, 55. That's going to be double 1-19. He gets the double. Billy Williams, 4-10 off Siebert, is a pop to third. Jim Hickman, 1-9. Let's take a look at the Jim Hickman card. Jim Hickman had a monster 1970, followed it up. 71 wasn't that great, but 72 was. 72, he had 17 homers, a 272 average, and 400 plate appearances. Could play first and right field. Always drew a lot of walks. Plenty of power here on 1-9. Homer, 1-16, fly ball the rest. No doubt about it, folks. Rolls the 1, and that is gone. We got a 3-2 game. It'll be Don Mincher. 65, flies to left, and with 2 outs, it is Ron Santo. 69, flies to right field. Bottom of the 6th inning, 3-2 Cardinals. It's Bake McBride. 4-4 off Fergie. Homer, 1-15 double. It's a 20 double. Actually, McBride had power too, by the way, with 6 homers in 600 some plate appearances. But he has to settle for the double there. And now here's Joe Torre. Listen to these fans going nuts here for Joe. 3-run homer last trip to the plate. 57's a K. Ted Simmons, 54, pops to second. And with 2 outs, it's Reggie Smith. 5-11, pitcher X, Fergie. Oh, he's an E31 pitcher. That's not any good. And that is an error. So that will put runners on the corners, setting up an unearned run opportunity for the Cardinals here, leading by a run. And it's Bill Sadakis. 48 off of Fergie is a clean single to right field, and the Cardinals increase their lead to 4-2. That's all on Fergie. That's his problem there. Now you got Bob Berta with 2 on and 2 outs. 1-2, flies to right field. Berta will leave. Anderson will take over to shortstop. Tyson moves to short. I think they'll bring in Don Hahn as well. Reggie Smith goes to first. Don Hahn goes to left. Brock goes to right. McBride stays in center field, moving everybody around. And there we go. Full defensive replacement with a 2-run lead in a game the Cardinals desperately need to win. The only guy on the bench left is Jose Ortiz, who is a good hitter, but not much of a fielder. All right, Sonny Siebert has been presented with a 4-2 lead into the 7th. He's a starter 8. And here we go, Dell Unser. 1-2 for Unser is a walk. Number 9 hitter, Randy Hundley. 39 is a base hit in the center field. Unser will hold at second, down a couple. And it is Madlock. Hey, let's take a look at Madlock's card. My goodness. Yeah, 74. Emerged in Chicago. I think in 75 he's an all-star, batting champion, and MVP of the all-star game, something like that. But he hits .313 with 9 home runs and 500 plate appearances in 74. And Siebert will have to battle him with 2 on and nobody out. The pitch to Bill Madlock. 1-3, flies to right field. Now you got Johnny Briggs. Let's take a look at this guy. So the Cubs, they did a lot of trades in the offseason trying to bring left-handed hitters to Wrigley, which they haven't had recently. They brought in Don Mincher from the Washington Senators. They brought in Johnny Briggs from the Brewers, also played for the Phillies. And here is Johnny Briggs' card. Heck of a card. 71, 21 homers and 375 at-bats with 71 walks. Big at-bat here for Johnny Briggs with 1 out and 2 men on base. Pitch to Johnny Briggs. 39. That is a 4-6-3 double play. Oh my. Huge break for Sonny Siebert, who was skated out of a bunch of jams today. Stretch time in St. Louis of a 4-2 Cardinal lead in the 7th inning. We have been enjoying Durando's Let My People Go LP. I don't know if this is the right year. It might be a reissue year, but Didn't I in this one? Yeah, great record here. I think some of this music was in Jackie Brown, maybe, or one of the Tarantino films. I think Didn't I was in Breaking Bad TV series as well. Anyway, bottom of the 7th. Cardinals leading 4-2. Fergie Jenkins is going to continue, as he is a starter 9. And he doesn't want to lose 2 games with the Cardinals. So he's going to try and chase a win if he can. Bottom of the 8th. Bottom of the 7th, excuse me. It is Dwayne Anderson. 1-6 for Dwayne. Rolls to short. Ted Sizemore. 37 is a base hit. Back up top to Lou Brock. 69 flies to left. And with 2 outs, it's Big McBride. 46, double 1-8 off of Fergie. It's a double. These are self-inflicted wounds, folks. A lot of this is off the Jenkins card. The error off of him as well, of course. Torrey had the hit off his own card, but this is all Fergie self-destructing here. 2nd and 3rd, 2 outs, and here again is Joe Torrey. Fans are going nuts. 3-run homer in the 3rd and the 4th. And he struck out in the 6th. The pitch to Joe Torrey. 54 off Fergie is center X. Now you got a good center fielder. You do have Unser, a 2E5 in center. And he makes the grab. Big grab on the warning track in center field. It stays 4-2. All these games have been tight between the rivals. We go to the 8th. Siebert, I think, puts a couple guys on, will hook them, as he has played with fire throughout this contest. It'll be Glenn Beckert. 2-4, rolls a short. Billy Williams, 58, short X. The new shortstop is Tyson, 3E40 at short. And that didn't help. The defensive replacement's not as good as, just as bad as the starter, I guess. It's a base hit, and the Cubs have the tie run up, and it's Jim Hickman, who homered his last time up. Do we ask Mr. Robowski for a 5-out save? Because Hickman hits more homers versus righties, and you got Mincher, Santo. Santo could be rather dangerous, though. But let's do it. After 7 1/3, down 3-1 in the series, a little bit of desperation here. Al Robowski being asked to come in for a 5-out save. He's a relief 3. Al Robowski in 73, 2-4 with a 2.09 ERA in 56 innings. He actually is well rested, as the Cardinals have been playing so well this year that they've been winning big, and then they've been losing to the Cubs, so they haven't really needed their closer much. So a little rusty Al Robowski comes on in the 8th inning. will face the tying hitter, Jim Hickman, who homered his last time up in a 4-2 game. The pitch to Jim Hickman. 5-10 off Grabowski is catcher's card. This is Simmons, a 3E14, and he gets the pass ball on the 3. We'll take that any day. Runner goes to scoring position with 2 outs for Mincher, and Mincher hits homers fine against lefties. Let's take a look at his card. I don't think there's any reason to take this guy out of there. He can hit a home run, and Grabowski's actually pretty good against righties. Mincher had 12 homers, a 280 average, and 500 plate appearances for the Senators in 71. The pitch to Don Mincher. 4-10 off Grabowski is center X. You got McBride at 2E4 in center field, and he is going to make the catch on the fly ball be there. 4-2, bottom of the 8th. Fergie chasing the win will continue. Ted Simmons. 5-8, second X. Beckert, 2E10 at second base, makes the play. Reggie Smith, 63. First X. This is Mincher, 3E13 at first. That is a 2-base error. And the way you score this is he's an E13 defender and an E10. A better defender makes a 2-base error. Therefore, he makes a 2-base error. So we score that. That is a 2E3. He throws a ball over Fergie's head into the Cub dugout. Reggie's at second base with 1 out. And it's Don Hahn in there for Sadakis as a defensive replacement. Don Hahn. 66 is a strikeout. And with 2 outs, it's Mike Tyson, the other defensive replacement. 1-9, another strikeout. And fortunately for Don Mincher, that error is not costly. 4-2 in the 9th. Can Grabowski get the save and make this 3-2 series heading back to Wrigley Field? It'll be Santo, Unser, and Hundley in the 9th. Santo crushes lefties. Here's the pitch. 5-10 is catcher's card. Simmons is a 3E14, and he makes the play. Del Unser. You want a pinch hit for him? Yeah, we can pinch hit. We'll go Jerry May as a pinch hitter for the left-hander Unser against Grabowski. Jerry May. 39 is a walk. Jerry May walks in the pinch hitting spot. Would have been an out for Unser. That was a good, nice play there by the Cubs. Jerry May can be the catcher now. So you don't need Hundley to bat either. Hundley's not very good against lefties. So you have your choice. You're going to go Carmen Fanzone here as the batter. Let's take a look at him. Carmen Fanzone will pinch hit now against Grabowski. Heck of a year for him in 73. 273 hitter. 6 homers, 150 at-bats. 20 walks. Nice little utility player. Nice little guy with power both ways. Carmen Fanzone with Jerry May at first and 1 out in the 9th of a 4-2 game. The pitch to Carmen Fanzone. 3-11, center field. And with 2 outs, we go up top to Bill Madlock. Saw his card earlier. The tie run with 2 outs. Bill Madlock, and here's the pitch. 1-6, Madlock. It's not going to be a homer. It's going to be triple 1-10 double. It's going to be a triple. And the Cubs, Madlock slides into third base as the tie run in a 4-3 game. Wow, what a series this is. And you got Johnny Briggs. Or you could pinch hit Kessinger for him and leave Madlock in his DH. Santa going to third. Interesting decision. We saw Briggs' card earlier. Do enough outfielders. Yeah, Billy Williams, Jim Hickman, and Carmen Fanzone could play in the outfield as well. Johnny Briggs or Kessinger. You know what? I'm gonna pinch hit Kessinger against Grabowski because Grabowski gives up more hits to righties. So let's take a look at Kessinger pinch hitting here and taking over at shortstop in the bottom of the inning, if there is a bottom of the inning. Don Kessinger, 1971. Guy had 669 plate appearances. Well, based on how he's being used now, with the Cubs winning and him on the bench, he ain't going to get those plate appearances. I'm sure he's not particularly happy with it, but he does get to bat in a key moment here, as the Cubs are trying to tie this thing up in the 9th inning of a Game 5. Don Kessinger against Al Hrabowski, and here is the pitch. 55 off Hrabowski is a strikeout. That will end the game. Kessinger does strike out to end it, and the Cardinals do get the win in Game 5. They're still trailing in the series, 3-2. The Cubs still control their home field destiny here. But that was a much needed win for the Cardinals to right their sinking ship there. Take a look at the box score and the year-to-date numbers for the two teams. So Hrabowski does get a nice little save there. A hit, a run, a walk, and a K in the 9th. The 1-1-1-1-1. Came on in the 8th inning and got 2 outs as well. Sonny Siebert does get the win. 9 hits, 2 runs. That 2-run homer was all the damage, a walk, and a couple strikeouts. Fergie takes another loss. 8 hits, 4 runs. The 3-run homer by Torrey, and an unearned run in the 6th. A walk. 10 strikeouts. So in his 2 starts, Fergie's walked 1 batter and struck out 19. 19-1 strikeout to walk ratio, 2 losses. Oh boy. 1019, 0108, 48310, 23110, 11023. And again, the Cubs win the base runner battle 12-9, but lose the score. You could say the Cubs should have won maybe 5 of these, all 5 of them, if you want to look at it that way. Anyway, that is Game 5. Have a look at the year-to-date numbers for both teams here. The Cubs aren't out of it. I mean, they really could have used that win, but like we saw in the standings how close everything is. The Cubs are pretty much going to have to win every series they play the rest of the way. Including this one when they get back home. All right, so we're back to a 3-game difference between the two teams. The Cardinals find themselves 13-10. They are hitting .272. They do have a .318 team ERA. That's all very good. Al Hrabowski has 7 saves, 10 in the 3rd innings, just 1 run allowed. And there you go. That's what you need, the finish. You got your finisher. You know, Bob Gibson did lose that 1 game, but he is 5-2. Home runs, it is Reggie Smith with 6 to pace the club and 20 RBI. And he also has 23 hits and 81 at-bats. Nice little Joe Torre is... Actually, Torre's 26 for 95. That's not that great. Now, Torre's only hitting .274, so he's not living up to the card. And actually, Torre has 5 home runs. He's hitting more home runs, but he's not hitting... The homers are coming, but the hits are not. Weird. And the Cubs. Well, they're 9-12. They're 3 games back. And the Cubs are hitting .274, but they got a .457 ERA. That's just not going to work. How about Fergie Jenkins? He is 2-5. Does have 5 complete games. This is remarkable. He has walked in 54 innings. He's given up 8 walks and struck out 56. 56-8 strikeout to walk ratio. For this era even, that's amazing. That's kind of common in the common era, in the current era. But Fergie has given up 28 runs in 54 innings. Yeah, .467 ERA. You could say too much location, too much pinpoint control by Fergie, and he's leaving a lot of balls out over the plate. Offensively for the Cubs, just not enough homers. I'm looking at 3 for Del Unser. The big bats just aren't taking them out of the yard. 13 RBIs, that's not great. You got Madlock is 29 for 89. 326. Now let's take a look at Kessinger. Did he deserve to be yanked from his spot? Not really. Yeah, he's 22 for 70, he's hitting .314. Didn't deserve to be yanked from the spot other than the fact that he doesn't have power. But that's the problem with the Cubs. They're not hitting home runs. You don't hit home runs and you're the Cubs, it ain't going to work. Johnny Briggs and Carmen Fanzo don't have one. Randy Hundley, Kessinger can't hit one. Jerry May doesn't have any. Billy Williams. Oh, there you go. Well, there's your problem right there. Billy Williams with a goose egg in the home run column. How does that even happen? Batting fourth for the Cubs. Billy Williams, 23 for 78. 295. The hits are coming. The homers are not. It's kind of weird. It's almost the opposite of Torrey. Torrey's got the homers, not the hits. Williams has the hits, not the homers. Anyway. That'll do it for Game 5. We'll go back to Wrigley Field for Game 6 and 7 if necessary. I'll give you the matchups. It'll be Chris Short, who started Game 1 in this series, for the Cardinals. And it'll be Bert Hooton for the Cubs. And we'll post that game and a Game 7 if necessary at the end of this video. Thanks for checking this out. We'll see you next time. Well, baseball fans, here's the box score of the game you just saw, the Game 5 victory for the Cardinals, the 4-3 victory at home in St. Louis. The Cubs still have control, 3-2 in this series, but the Cardinals could use another win or two. They want to stay up top in the East, in the North. Let's take a look at the return to Wrigley Field, Game 6. The Cardinals, it is Chris Short against Bert Hooton. And Bert Hooton got 9 straight outs after a walk and some double plays here. But then Bert Hooton falls apart in the 4th inning. A string of singles, walks, and it all ends up with a 3-run homer by Ted Sizemore. That is the Cardinal damage today. 8-run 4th inning off of Bert Hooton. And the stunned Cubs, well, they rally, believe it or not. They get a couple runs in the 4th, a run in the 5th. They get a 3-run homer by Jim Hickman in the 6th inning. And then in the 7th inning, it's Ron Santo with a solo shot off of Chuck Taylor. It's an 8-7 game, and the Cubs, you know, they're saying, no. We want to win this thing in 6. They just run out of gas in the comeback, and that 1 inning is all the Cardinals did, but it was enough to get a win. You see the Cardinals are just scraping through these games here, folks. But they do indeed even the series. A 4-3 win in Game 5, an 8-7 win in Game 6. And actually, if a playoff team will do that kind of thing, sometimes you got to win ugly, and the Cardinals have. So what happens in Game 7 when Bob Gibson returns to the mound? Fergie Jenkins has lost twice. Gibson has lost once against the rival. And in Game 7, Bob Gibson versus Earl Stevenson. And Gibby gets knocked around again. The Cubs have their way with Bob Gibson in a Game 7. You get an RBI triple by Billy Williams. Still no home runs, but Billy Williams went 3 for 4 in this game with a triple and a couple singles. So he's hitting well over 300, but no home runs. Very bizarre. 2 more runs in the 2nd. In the 3rd inning, couple singles, RBI doubles by Don Mincher and Ron Santo. 6 runs in the first 3 innings. Gibson just continues trying to chase a win as a starter 9. And Gibson's line, 7 innings. 11 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned. Earl Stevenson hit the point of weakness. They had that DH rule. The DH rule is a 6-12, and the pitcher hits the point of weakness, and that's what happened. So he's pulled after 5, collects a victory. Cub bullpen pieces it together with some nice relief work there. 4 shutout innings of relief of a very questionable Cub bullpen. But break up your Cubs. They did persevere. They won Game 7. So the Cardinals won Game 1. Cubs won Games 2, 3, and 4. Cardinals 5 and 6, but the Cubs win Game 7. And let's take a look at the overall standings now. Cardinals still in first, but before the All-Star break, the Cardinals will face the Pirates, and the Reds will face the Cubs. And you can see it's way too close to predict how the standings will be at the All-Star break at this point. These numbers will be static the rest of the way. The yellow inputs are the interleague play, where this division was 2 over 500. Their net 1 loss is just a game over 500, which means they are -1 in the National League. This division, the Central and the East, have not played each other. They don't play each other in the regular season. They'll play each other in the postseason tournament. So you see 3 and -1 is 2. And the other division, same thing. -6 and 4 is -2, a net of 0. That's how you, these numbers you'll see will stay exactly this the rest of the way, because all we're going to do is add a win and add a loss for every divisional game the rest of the way. But in the National League, my goodness, Interleague has been horrible for the West, but look at the National League West winning in the National League. -7 against the American League, +4 against the National League. That portends well for the Giants, Astros, and even the given up for dead Dodgers have a reasonable chance as they've got some nice head-to-head victories in the National League. That's it today. Congratulations, Chicago Cubs, for winning this series in 7 games, staying alive and relevant in the National League, and we will see you next time.